Wally, you gonna help me feed the worms? No, Wally's gonna guard the house. Hi, Wally. We're gonna feed the worms. So it's been about a little past a week since we fed the worms last, and I have had this kind of just, I think it's a, I don't know, I got it from Goodwill, cloth, tablecloth, whatever, that I've hand draped over the box. And originally I did it because it's been cold in Florida, ironically, and now it isn't. And it's in the 70s, mid 80s. I think today it's like 84 or something. And I was thinking, I was like, man, between the mosquito bits, heavy bedding, migrating the worms, and this cover, like surely our problem might be improved. I don't know. I told you guys last time I had this little sticky up there, and it's definitely gotten more densely populated, as have the two little stickers that I put over here. And so I figured, you know, with all of that being said, I want to try and feed the worms. Apparently, Wally also thinks this is a good feeding time. So we're going to feed the worms. But what I thought I would do, since we have migrated them and they've had a lot of just, you know, odd transitions and migration and all this stuff going on, I figured I would use some stuff up in my freezer that I had been saving for a while. So I have some frozen watermelon rinds, and then these, I think, were my dog's bag treat of, I cut up some seedless watermelon for the boys when it's really warm out, and they get those when they come back from walks. So I have plenty of bedding ready to go, and I figured, you know, we don't have a lot of active tiers, so we probably want to feed somewhat more regularly, and I want to give them like a little New Year's treat. So I'm really curious to see what we get when I take the cover off of here, because this is obviously preventing flies from the little gnats from coming in, but it's also probably preventing potentially the gnats that are in here from coming out. So fingers crossed. I'm not sure what we're gonna get. Okay, well that's great. Other than some random worms that are in here, this is the one we just harvested. We got some guys up here, and there's a few in here, but okay, didn't get a big swarm of flies, so that's fantastic. All right, now I'm gonna move the camera down just a little bit so you guys can see what happens when we take off the next tier. Oh, good. All right, no, one fly maybe, or maybe that was just on the thing. I don't know. Let's see. Oh wait, I skipped a tier. Oops. This was to take off this one. Okay, here it is. This is the one I was looking for. I was like, that's weird. Okay. Equally though, worms, but no flies. So that's a miracle. Video worms. You guys probably had a hard time getting through some of this paper towel. For that, I'm sorry. So as of right now, this is our longest standing bin tier. We're just gonna roll these guys up. And you can see a little bit of a deficit here. Ooh, shoot, a fly did come out. All right, so I still see some food in here, although not a lot. There's a little banana peel. I'll take you guys in. It's very, there's worms here, but there's definitely more, no, I don't know. I guess there's a little bit of food in here. I think I want to let them work on this one a little bit more. I don't want to feed this one just yet. I think they have plenty of bedding and stuff in here they need to be working on. So I don't want to feed these guys right now. I don't think they need it. And not that I think we were overfeeding, but I don't want to find out the hard way. So we are just gonna tuck this in here. Close enough. These guys can get in if they want on the sides. There's like a few crevices where they could get in, but I'm trying to make sure we prevent any flies from potentially joining our party. So we're gonna take this cover, put it back on. All right, and then now we're gonna go back to this one. I'm gonna switch this around for you guys. All right, so this is the one that we pre-set up. So when we got the expansion, we set up 2 tiers at once, and this tier was set up but never fed. But we had found that a lot of worms were kind of migrating here anyways. So when we did the migration, I just dumped the worms and the eggs in here along with some mosquito bits, which you can probably see here. They kind of look like maybe corn kernels. Anyways, so there's never been any food in here. And so this is the next tier that I'm gonna start feeding and tending to. So I'm gonna make a little, actually, you know what, let's try it on the corner here. Let's try something different. We will feed them all over here, on this side over here. But before I do that, because there's a ton of worms on here in this tier, I just want to check down below. Not much going on down there. A few wormies. They got plenty of food if they want it. All right, so we're gonna do a sideways feeding here. And I'm just gonna throw in some food. It is frozen, which is why I tried to move some of the worms off to the side, so that way it can thaw. Oops. It can thaw a little bit before hopefully they get to it, because I don't want to freeze them either. You know, I don't want them to be too cold. Well, I'm sure there's somebody in here I missed. Vicky, move. All right. Well, it's a bit of a bigger chunk than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. So I am going to use some of the existing matter in here to bury it, but I am definitely going to fill as much as I can on this side with some bedding. I have a lot of shredded cardboard in this mix and some paper bags. I'm just going to very generously feed this side its bedding. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know, maybe if I put the bedding only on this side, then next time I'll know I'll need to put the food over here. I don't know if that's how it works, but I'm gonna try it. So this is all a big experiment anyways, right? So we'll see if this helps. But I'm definitely gonna put plenty of bedding over here. And this is the first time bedding has really been added for the most part. So they're gonna be good there. And then, since we only have 2 active tiers, I am going to rearrange them so that way the active tiers have the top of the bin to themselves, if that makes sense. But before I continue, this one down here that we previously harvested, I am going to put a little, maybe big pile of paper in here, which is probably too much for the moisture content, but I wanted the worms to have something to munch on if they get hungry or whatnot. So while I'm not actively feeding this, I want them to have something to crawl up to if they wanted to go to the tier above them. So on top of them, I'm gonna put these guys here. This is just the bin that we had previously harvested in our last video, which is our previously contaminated one, and thankfully nothing has sprung up. And then we'll put our next oldest bin in here. She's doing pretty good. I think they're doing good. They're just letting them take their time. And then, last but not least, oops, worm down. Oh no. Oops, oops. There you go. Little worm. Okay. And then last but not least, the worms that we just fed here we're back to our full tier. And I feel pretty good about the amount of food that they got. I saw, I think, one maybe gnat coming out of there. So maybe it was on the outside, maybe it was just trapped. All of the bins went on really easily this time. I didn't have any resistance. So that's exciting. I think even though it is going to be a little warm this week for Florida, my insulation slash gnat protection has worked out pretty great so far between that and the mosquito bits. And I want to keep them warm because I'm sure we're going to get another cool front. And we had days where it was only, you know, maybe a high of 50 or something. We didn't have a lot of them, but we had a few of them. So inside the house, you know, we didn't turn the heat on because of, you know, for 1 or 2 days, it's not worth it. So we probably had the house like mid 60s, which was probably a little cool for these guys. So hopefully this will keep them warm, but also protected from the gnats. But you guys, I think we did it. I think our gnat problem may be slightly under control. So some combination of the harvesting, the mosquito bits, and the protective layer. You know, worst case scenario, this is what I have to do to keep the gnats out for, you know, the foreseeable future. Like, I don't mind, like, it's no trouble, and it doesn't look bad, doesn't look good, it's just there. So I think Wally's ready for a nap cuddle session. I think I might go join him. Guys, thanks so much for watching and for following this gnat troubleshooting journey. We learned a lot. Definitely don't overfeed, which I don't think, truthfully, at the end of the day was a problem, but I think I got a little lazy with my bedding coverage, and I think once it just happened, it just spiraled out of control. So now we know, between mosquito bits, lots of bedding coverage, and this, and possibly the migration, I think the migration helped a lot. We have finally gotten the gnats, I think, under control for now.